bathroom light's open. And this is too high, I think. Let's see, here we go. Okay, I thought I would do a live stream about protein. And I got this idea because Kelly Hogan has just interviewed me for her podcast and asked me, how the frack can you eat a little protein and build muscle, right? And so it's kind of like I tried to go into the science of how that works, and it was a little long-winded. So I thought I would give myself an opportunity to explain more as soon as I shut my bathroom door. So I'm going to turn this camera like this way for a second and shut my bathroom. Yeah. And turn off the light. All right. There we go. Okay. Let's talk about it. Shall we? Oh, by the way, I can stop saying that I am almost 55. I am now officially 55. What? I love it. It's really cool. It's very, very cool to people like, how do you feel? I'm like, we all get older. So I really love the fact that I've been able to sort of hack the things that were going wrong with my body and put the kibosh slow down of how much I have cellular death, that's what aging is. Oh, thank you, Christina. Okay, let's talk about some protein for a minute as I drink some water, shall we? Now, hi guys. Thank you, Rob. So I had a talk with Kelly Hogan, and that was very interesting. She's a sweetheart. She's a real, like, kind of quirky, fun, positive person. But we are very different with the way that we look at food, except for this. She now is a proponent of high fat, low protein. She wanted me to break down and explain, well, because she didn't understand, well, how are you going to grow muscle if you're eating low protein? So before I go into that, I want to explain to you how too much protein will not only not help you grow muscle, but it also can damage your body. So let me count the ways, and I'll try to make it short. This is something you guys got to understand. Now, a lot of you guys who already have followed me, that you're going to know this stuff. It's kind of like, I've said it before. Okay. In the interview with Kelly, I was trying to explain this, but it was too long-winded for her. But I don't think it will be for you guys. In nature, we did in fact, hi everybody. We did in fact feast and famine. If we were feasting, we didn't even like to eat the muscle meat. We like to eat the organs because then the organs are high fat or they're encased in fat, right? So you have the brain, which is very fatty. You have the thymus, which is very fatty. You have the liver that has a fatty casing around it. You have fatty organs, eyeballs, tongue, brain, all these types of things from head to toe. And muscle meat is great for potassium, amino acids, iron in some cases, but it can be very low in other micronutrients and minerals, some minerals. And so PB Mustard is asking how much protein. Well, I'm going to get there to some of the solutions after I talk about the damage of it. So in nature, we would not be gorging on a bunch of muscle meat every day like we do today. Mistake, human dum-dum thing number one. First of all, we just didn't eat muscle meat. We ate organ meat, and we tried to eat the organ meats because as a human species, that's how we're going to survive with the maximum amount of vitamins and minerals and fat-soluble vitamins that are for cell repair and for life, reproduction, immune system, everything. And I think a lot of the carnivores and also keto people kind of forget this. Like, why are you eating so much protein? There's this guy in the gym, has nothing to do with keto. Big friggin' linebacker dude. Like, he's got to be like 6'5", built like a freaking tank. Huge. But he doesn't have any definition. He's just, his arms are like that big, but he's not cut. He's almost kind of like fat, muscular, thick mother sucker. And he was like, how can I lean out? And I'm like, well, how much protein are you consuming? What are your carbohydrates? And he's just eating these exorbitant amount of protein in the form of protein shakes. And I said, stop pushing so many amino acids through your body, which is quite a stress on your biliary duct system, if you cannot utilize all this protein. You're not going to use it all. And you have to look at the state of your gut wall to know, well, how much protein is my body actually going to absorb? And do I have regulations of insulin to balance my blood sugar? Because that's a problem with eating too much protein, is that your body can easily convert that into glucose and spike your blood sugar. So he was like, and I sometimes I just, before I even start explaining this stuff, I'm already gassing out because I'm like, it's like if I start explaining the most simplest of concepts that he's not used to, he's going to be like, do I hear a parrot? Is there a fly buzzing around my head? Like, it's just, I lose him. And I've been watching that blank face forever. It's awful. The blank faces of people. And that, like me, I'm a information junkie. So I really want to know, like, why would protein damage you? So a couple things. One of the main reasons that people damage themselves, there's like three main ones, on carnivore and also keto, is the fact that because carnivore is an all animal-based diet, then the propensity for problems is much bigger. But one of the main reasons is chronic dehydration. A lot of people don't know how to balance their electrolytes. And when you're doing a keto omnivorous diet, it's much easier to sort of collect your potassium from from not spinach, that's oxalates, but things like cauliflower or cabbage, the cruciferous brassica family, and which doesn't have a lot, but they add up, right? Or from avocados, and dare I say the spinach, but prepared and in season only, and only if you don't have any problems with holding on to oxalate crystals. So when you're eating too much protein every single day, and primarily from muscle meat, and then throwing a couple slices of butter or something on top of it, it may just not be enough. In comparison, a lot of people try to get their fat from protein, but they have to eat a ton of steak to get to the amount of fat to keto adapt, because you need to eat high fat to then get the brain to develop the enzymes to convert the fat into ketone bodies so your whole Krebs cycle and the cells can use it. It's simple and it's complicated, but you have to start off eating high amounts of dietary fat. You're not going to get enough in meat without adding more protein, which will block your keto adaptation, which is why some of these people who eat 2 pounds of beef have very low ketones or high glucose or unviable ketones. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to drink some more water. And then I'm going to go ride my horse. Thank you, Sherry, who writes, happy birthday, sending you tons of love and light. Thank you, darling. I'm finally 55. What? 55 and alive. 55 and still got the abs going on. Still got them, right? Still have them after all these years. Made mistakes, and I'm fixing them. No, it's not better than a box of Twinkies. If you start to develop gout or chronic dehydration and you cannot absorb magnesium or don't get enough, you can have a heart attack. How do I know this? Because I've been coaching thousands of people. Don't believe me? Go back to my video catalog. And now I actually interview a lot of clients. We'll have a talk and I'll say, do you want to go on camera and tell your story? So, guy, now I ain't full of shite. I ain't just going like, I do great and I eat, 2 pounds of beef and I am fabulous at 55. Yes, I'm 55. I do fabulous at 55. Just eat 2 pounds of beef and you don't need to get your electrolytes from anything else and everything's amazing and I'm going to feel amazing and full of this nonsense that we keep hearing out there now in the guru sphere of, I don't know what these people are doing. Thank you, Sally. So you guys can go back. Like the first time I announced my age was at 46. So we've got a year to go before it's 10 years of me deciding to say my real age. I got my Dexcom. I guess your Dexa scan, not scam. And after a year of carnivore, my glucose is at 130 fasted, only goes down when I eat. You see, usually, let me read this again. I wish I could highlight it, but I'm not on StreamYard. She writes, got my Dexcom, and after a year on carnivore, my glucose is at 130 fasted. That is insulin resistance numbers, y'all, when she eats. Or it only goes down when she eats. So you guys be very careful for these diets. I want carnivore to die. When are you going to just crumble and go away? And I just don't want it to be popular anymore. It's going to be the best when all these dietary things go away and die off. The best thing that's going to happen is the people who really want to help their health are going to stick around. Can I talk about gastritis? Yes, I can talk about gastritis. I will after I talk about the protein. Because what Sherry said was very much aligned to high blood sugar. So the problem is that you guys can also develop. So I'm going to talk about one of the things, some of the things that go wrong. So one of the electrolytes that's massive. Along with the electrolytes, you start to have problems with losing electrolytes, which can cause damage to the heart. And also you have problems with your biliary duct system, which is the piping connected to your liver, your kidney, your gallbladder, your pancreas. And you're trying to stuff protein byproducts through these organs that are filtration systems like the liver and especially the kidneys, then people start to develop things like gout and low kidney function. Sherry's like, you were right with this, girlfriend. You were right with this stuff. Or Stephanie, you're right with this. So nobody talks about this. And when I have my consultations, they're like, well, I booked with you because nobody talks about this. And I'm like, I don't know why. It's not that big of a deal. Like, why can't people are like, TMI, I know my poop is really, floaty and loose. And I was like, TMI, this is normal, people. Like, we just got to talk about stuff and normalize when our health is good and health is bad and stop, when I used to, on Instagram, I used to always use like a face filter. I always did. And then people started calling me out on it. And it's like my perception of my own face, right? My own wrinkles in my own face, my own aging. And this is years ago, I was using face filters. And then somebody called me out on it and I stopped. So this is me. See? This is me. This is Stephanie. This is real. No filters, nothing. Okay? Vegans, you want to take a snapshot of my face and see the deterioration of keto or carnivore? I've been doing your high fat, low protein for 2 months, feeling good, taking electrolytes as per your recommendations. My only problem is I still wake up around 3, hypoglycemia. So Maria, now we got to deal with the fact that you're probably not adapting. So she's got too low, high to low, and then high again, blood sugar while sleeping. Teresa says, your real talk. It's my podcast, by the way. Save a life. Thank you for being, I guess, saved a life. Thank you for being real. Thank you, Teresa. So when you're eating a lot of protein, so now that all that piping is just like, it's like choking, all that protein. Then you guys are losing electrolytes. Then you're trying to stuff a bunch of protein through your booty hole and you become constipated. Then people who do carnivore get super loose stool because I believe for the lack of the ability to have your diamine oxidase and methyltransferase and prebiotic fiber is turning the loose stool. Now it's Elliot, forgot his name. It's his idea that you release a lot of bile, but that doesn't make any sense when you add the fiber back. If you just eat a little bit of fiber. So this is what happens when you live in the South. Okay, my electrician, who's a sweetheart, he's like really, really nice. He's like, I'm going to take you out for your birthday because you don't know anybody in this town. He goes, Stephanie, everybody loves me in this town. Everybody. That dude's a classic country hick talk. It's hilarious. I digress. Stephanie. Everybody. Okay. So the other ways that people get jacked up eating a lot of protein, and this is very important, is that protein that you cannot utilize. A lot of you guys have hypochlorhydria, right? You have hypochlorhydria. That's low stomach acid. That means you don't have a lot of pepsin and protease and not even lipase to start breaking down these digestive enzymes made in the pancreas to start breaking down your macronutrients, your starches, your fats, and your carbohydrates. Your proteins, your fats, and your carbohydrates. And so then on top of that, when you have leaky gut and you've got these massive holes in your gut wall, and then you're, eating too fast and you don't have enough stomach digestion, not enough acid. Now all this food is hitting your small intestine, and the small intestine goes, I'm choking. And a lot of you guys having a difficult time to actually use those amino acids for energy. They get reconverted back into glucose, which is a survival mechanism, and then that can blunt your keto adaptation, and then you don't get enough glycogen storages in the muscle because the muscles are gas tank for the carbs that you eat. But when you eat protein, you don't really get a lot of storage because protein isn't sugar. Sugar is going to store like that. Carbohydrates and starches are going to store like that. Too much protein is going to give you blood sugar, not a lot of muscle glycogen, and then therefore people start to develop what? Adrenal fatigue. And then from there, it's thyroid. So your hypothalamus here, pituitary, right below the hypothalamus, under here, there it is, adrenal down here, and thyroid axis get whacked up. Then you start to develop secondary issues like with your thyroid or chronic fatigue. I know. Then you develop hypoglycemia. The blood sugar goes doink, 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 and you start waking up. Sleeping gets really, really odd and messed up. And some people develop restless leg syndrome, and then because they're not absorbing enough minerals because they're constantly bleeding out, which is another concept. Even if you don't have severe leaky gut, but you don't balance your electrolytes and you're hemorrhaging electrolytes in your pee, then you might start to develop like muscle cramps and restless leg syndrome and heart palpitations and all this nonsense. And then the gurus will say, well, your body's adjusting. You just have to eat more meat. Just eat more meat and salt. I don't know how many people do salt on carnivore without potassium and they're jacked. Or they're doing the electrolyte elixirs and the powders, which are high in chlorides, which can damage your kidneys, as I've said a million times. So can vitamin D supplements. Some people go, nah, you can take 50,000 IUs and it's so great for fibroids and it's so great for, endometrial problems. But if you have a low calcium score, if you're doing a keto carnivore diet and you're like pounding a bunch of vitamin D supplements down your body, and also you're like, ooh, ouchie, my kidneys hurt, then that vitamin 50,000 IUs becomes like shards of glass and needles going through your kidneys, which is like very soft tissue up in there. Legit. Super problem. Chronic dehydration. The high amounts of uric acid or the purines, right? Or even developing physiological insulin resistance rebound where your blood sugar spikes because you're not adapted. And now your body's still going through ages, which is the damage of the cells, right? Even the insulin can do this. So your insulin, you start to become more insulin resistant on a carnivore diet instead of becoming insulin sensitive because you have cortisol and stress and you're not sleeping and there's all these things that you gotta be like this. Don't drop the ball. If you don't do that and you drop the ball too many times, you're gonna jack yourself up eating all that protein, my people. Okay. Tick, 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 tick. Stephanie. Or should I talk with the Irish? I've got to get the Irish accent going. My friend's from Scotland, and he's always, it's cute. I'm obsessed with his accent. I'm not gonna lie. We talk every day, almost every day. So these are the things that can damage your health exponentially. If you're chronic dehydrated, then it can damage your heart, not get enough oxygen over time. People who are having problems with low kidney function before, during, or after can start to develop problems like gout. If you have a leaky gut and you're not absorbing your iron, you can develop hemochromatosis or high iron, which is very poisonous to the body. It can be deadly. Don't just pound a bunch of red meat, especially if your iron numbers are too high. You sometimes have to go by symptomology. Do I feel like garbage? Do I feel like, people don't even pay attention. I swear to God, people don't know that they feel like crap anymore. So when I did the interview with Kelly, I was like, I even talked to her before, and she's lovely, but she'll be like, oh my God, I'm amazing. Everything's fabulous. I feel great. And I was like, nobody feels great. Nobody. And I don't mean nobody on this planet. Like, understand what feeling great and not feeling great is. Everybody has a bad day on these diets, because if you're running around and you've done carnivore for years, or keto and high protein, and you're not balancing your electrolytes, and you're running around and you don't have a glass of water with you, or you're driving around and you're not eating something, or you're not drinking anything, or getting your potassium, magnesium, or sodium, girlfriend and guy friend, you will feel absolutely like crap. So I said to her, if you're eating high protein, you're not in ketosis. You're not. Your ketones are too low. And if you're not in ketosis, she's like, but I had energy. I'm like, that's because of your adrenals. If you're running off of your adrenals, those adrenals over time become ineffective and inefficient at working properly. I said, honey, I'm 11 years older than you. So when you start going into your 50s, you can't hide age no more. You cannot find the destruction of your hormones, right? Because you need that magnesium, and you need that vitamin D, and you need a strong gut wall. So these are some concepts that can absolutely 1000% damage your body if you are not in ketosis, if you're going through a physiological insulin resistance, if you're eating high protein with high iron and you're not absorbing the iron, if you have issues even with the constipation because you're dehydrated and now your liver is holding on to more estrogen than it normally would. There's just so many friggin' ways that you can damage yourself through gout, through the damage of your kidneys. You can't play, because once you start getting chronic dehydrated, then you have the secondary problems of high acids, high protein waste products through the biliary duct system. You have chronic destabilized blood sugar, and then you might be bonking and slamming to the ground and exercising without enough glycogen storages and then enough ketones, and then your body's running on, or you're drinking coffee. I believe she drinks coffee. So this is what I'm saying, that you really need to keep your body in homeostasis. Now, yesterday was my birthday, and so I definitely stayed out too late, so I am a complete hypocrite today. That is for damn sure. My brain is off the hook. The mental cognition is real. But the body is like, girlfriend, why don't you put on a movie and relax a little bit? And the idea that I'm going to go and ride my horse before hunting season, every time this guy's like, oh, you can ride my land. Every time I ride there, I get scared like somebody's going to go, because it's bow season right now. And then, yeah, there's just a lot to do, and I don't feel like doing, and I'm going to go to the gym. But if I go to the gym, I'm going to take it easy so I don't go crank too much into my adrenal system, because I'm recovering from popping out of ketosis. And if I keep doing this, and if my proteins are high, damage the body. Yeah, we need to adapt. We need to be not hypoglycemic and crashing in the afternoon or tired in the morning and needing to drink a coffee or an espresso, doing the stupid decaf or drinking your black tea or your white tea. Yeah, we need to drink water, y'all, and sip it all throughout the day. So I'm going to go to you guys' questions because there's a lot of comments. And I try to keep my commentary short, talk to my people, and bounce with it. Oh, by the way, you guys have a course page. You can sign up at stephanieperson.com. There I go over 3 diets. I no longer cover just keto, although I'm keto omnivore. I have to go through all 3 because y'all have different health issues and have to be put on different plans for different reasons. I also have consultations through stephanieperson.com. And you can buy a used car with that. What else? I know there's something else. Come on, think. Oh, yeah. You can go get your reproductive hormones checked and your kidneys checked through my sponsor, Let's Get Checked. Here's the product. No, I don't have the product. I need to go there and have them send me the test kit so I can show it and do the insert. Here's the product. And basically it's a self-testing kit where you prick your own finger and then you send the blood sample in. And it is, with thyroid, I kind of think you should do it twice because full thyroid panels need to get an objective understanding of what your T3, T4, reverse T3, I don't think they do TPO antibodies though. TSH is looking like a full panel. And if you can do it twice in a row without having to go through a general practitioner for those who don't have health insurance, this is a cheaper and more viable way to go and get your blood checked. Okay, let's get checked. And the code is Stephanie30, all caps. Okay, that's done. Ugh. That is done. Now the dogs are barking next door, so what's going on with the horses? What's going on with my horses? So, you guys don't forget to like up the stream. There's only 35 likes and almost 100 people up in here. I don't check to see who's liking. I'm too busy, but I know it helps to get my channel from not being shadow banned anymore. And that's by clicking in the chat box, and then I think a thumb will appear. And you click on that and then go back into the chat to go back into the live. Excuse me. Oh my god, I'm swallowing a lot of air. It's so not fabulous. Oh my god. Do you guys know how weird it is to go from Stephanie, I know everybody, I used to have a hog farm, to, oh my god, so not fabulous. Oh my god, should we do brunch? It's a freaking weird thing. Especially a black girl with a truck in the South from Hollywood. Okay, we're talking contradiction after contradiction. Orange stuffed blankets to put on my horse. What the hell are you talking about? I don't need to put no orange stuff on my horses. They animals. They're supposed to be out there in the nature. That just gotta acclimatize them to all the bugs. The bugs is the only problem. All right, so you guys get the reasons why that eating too much protein can damage your body. So when gurus are telling you, just eat until you're satisfied. Listen to your body. I mean, this is a joke. The problem that people develop, compulsive disorder, eating disorders, or depression, or chronic fatigue is because they were listening to their body. Meaning, I'm tired, so I'll have fruit, right? Don't eat carnivore and fruit. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. Whoever it's dumb. The other things are, if you are dehydrated, freaking pay attention to that. If you're low energy, can't sleep, constipation, loose stool, floating stool, blah, 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 something wrong. If anybody says, oh my god, you're gonna have like loose poo-poo, that's so normal, it'll be fine. And like my last Real Talk, you guys know I started a podcast, and Real Talk, real people with real stories. The woman was like, I was waiting for that diarrhea to go away. It was like 6 months of diarrhea on carnivore. I was like, girlfriend, we need to transition you off. Okay. So then my interview with Kelly Hogan, she's like, well, I'm doing high fat now, so let's commend her for that. And lower protein. But how do you stay strict carnivore. She goes, how do you do that? And I'm like, you don't. She's like, I don't want to put that in my podcast. I'm like, that's what I think. You don't stay on strict carnivore long term. That's what I said. Oh, thank you, Eunice. But if you had to, you better get a matrix up in that, right? You need to get like some tendons and some bone and some crushed bone and some fish bones. All right. And bounce those electrolytes because we don't want to sit and be on pills and powders and stupid powders and iodide, which is damaging you. Oh, where orange to stand out in. Oh yeah. Well, they haven't the I am not going to ride my horse on that property when they start. So we'll just put it that way. Not going to. Um, I'm going to. They're starting bow hunting first, by the way. So bow hunting is first. So they'll be out with the bow. Um, and I'm not riding my horse back there when it's bow hunting season. First is bow hunting, then they go to deer season. I will not do that. So orange is a great idea. Maybe I'll wear something bright today. I'll wear a bright yellow shirt, but I'm not going to ride him back there. It's a great place to ride Thunder. I can ride him. It's like 60 acres and it's super hilly. So people are like, oh my God, do you have trails? And I'm like, dude, I just go 2 blocks and they're like right there. Octavio saying how much magnesium do I consume? Everybody's different, right? There's the type of magnesium that if you're having issues with sleep, everybody probably needs to take a magnesium for the central nervous system, which glycinate, some people have a histamine response, and then you would try malate. If you have a histamine response to malate, you try citrate. Histamine, you got to go to L-threonate, and if you do that, bicarbonate, and if you do after that, you could do is, I digress. Actually, like third on the list is like magnesium chloride spray, not an oral chloride. And the amounts are negligible. If you're doing a citrate, it'd be like 200 milligrams. If you're doing a chelated, it would be like 400 to 600 milligrams. Let's see. Suzette says Tennessee Orange, University of Tennessee. We're a little nuts about it. I know people are like, are we going to go to the football game? I was like, fuck no. Give a shit about no damn football. I didn't even watch skateboarding. I was a freaking pro skater. Like, boring. I like to do sports. I don't like to watch them. I just don't. I get bored. I like to do stuff. Not Steph, but stuff. Can high-fat avivore be done right? Yes. Any carbs can cause inflammation in the shoulders. No. Maybe you. Inflammation in the shoulders, hands, and wake up. Oh, this is with you. So basically, what is his name? Rob Gen Arroyos. If you're having super bad high inflammatory responses to plants, I would start off on very tiny amounts and titrate up over 3 months, like one vegetable group, unless you actually have a severe allergy rather than sensitivity. 9 times out of 10, people who can't eat a food, it's because their gut wall is weak. So you got to work on the gut wall and then retrain your body to deal with the histamine from that food by producing diamine oxidase, DAO, or N-methyltransferase. My comments are often misunderstood and are brushed away with a laugh. Orange hunters don't shoot at. Huh? Oh, don't take me serious, Olive. Is it Olive Eater? I'm when I do lives, you guys, and I'm talking to a ton of people, you just, like, I stayed up super late last night. My ass is tired. I'm trying to stay current with my audience and stay talking to you guys. And sometimes I might miss a comment. I might flub a comment. It's never done to embarrass anyone. If I miss something, just restate it and put it up again. And I will correct myself and say I misunderstood you. I apologize. And then we just keep rolling. But don't take it personal, hopefully. I was just making a joke, like, I don't even want to go out there with orange. I don't want to go through any season. Once they start hunting, I will not be on that property, is basically what I was trying to make a joke about. You're amazing. Happy belated birthday. Thank you, Silvana. She's on my Instagram and is always giving me a lot of positivity. This woman, like, I think she's in her 60s and she's just like shredded and ripped and muscular. I think people need to realize that when you get older. It's so funny, Silvana, because somebody sent me a video of a woman who works out who's like 65 and she looked amazing. But Silvana looks even more amazing. Yeah, Jackie Perez, I'm right now, since I've moved, I've been slowly getting my life together. It's still pretty exhausting because I moved to raw land. It had nothing on it except for the RV pavilion. And I'm getting a well put in. Oh God. So, right now my course is only on Facebook, but we're trying to put it on my website. We've already started. It's just I got to finish it. Speaking of, can't wait for approval. Yes, I will do that. I will do that right after this talk. People join us, say give me 48 hours to put you on the page, just in case like things like this happen where I'm like doing a bunch of stuff before I actually go and look at the back of the course page. But yes, I hate that my course is on Facebook. I hate it. So it's gonna end soon because there's a lot of people that aren't able to get the information. Right? Sherry says, Stephanie asked Dr. Berry in a live about my glucose being 125, 130 for 10 days. This is interesting. He said it's normal. Only eat eggs and butter and bone marrow. Still train 3 hours per hour. Oh my God, Sherry. You know what's so weird is that Ken Berry, he yesterday morning he wrote, oh, I can't show you guys because I'm on my phone. He said, "Hey, sweet friend, happy birthday." And I was like, oh. So I think I need to have a talk with him and tell him that I completely 100% emphatically disagree with his food ideology in the not 100%, but like 99% on his applications. It's on the video for all to see. But I think he's been very sweet to me. That he's been very sweet. We were supposed to meet up a couple times. He didn't come through. He's like, "Oh, I can't. I have a family emergency or something like that." We were supposed to meet a couple times years ago. But now I'm in Tennessee. We'll probably meet up now so we can have a talk, like a real talk. Hopefully we can just become friends and not really go too much into the business of being a guru, because he's been very consistently nice to me. And every time people bring up stuff like this where he's saying blood sugar at 130 and 120 and 130 and 138 is fine is so insane. That's like psycho. Like, you're insulin resistant with those numbers. That's when you damage cells. Like, that's literally when people and women's menstrual cycles and headaches and their immune system tanks and their skin crepes out because of constantly going through gluconeogenesis on a low carb diet. It's so dangerous to have those numbers. And I disagree with him like 100% emphatically without, and I've always said I don't think these people are bad, that they might be misinformed. I mean, I'm actually talking to people. That's what I do. I may do a bad job of it, reading the comments on a live and the questions, but in person, there's no mistake. You cannot make any mistake because you can hurt somebody with your advice. You have to be hyper-focused on that person. He's a great guy, but it's not that it's normal. It's just flat out wrong information. It just is. I'm 5 feet tall and weigh 100 pounds, so people don't believe me. You're only 5 feet tall? Oh my goodness. 5 feet tall, 100 pounds. You should be a little more. 100 pounds is a little too little. Like 110 muscle. That would be good. Eat carnivore, trying to do 2 to 1 fat protein, but I only have bowel movements maybe once weekly. It's your electrolytes, SF. Straight up. What should I do? Watch my videos on how to balance your electrolytes. I can't believe this. Okay, toxins need to leave the body. That's another problem with being chronically dehydrated on a carnivore diet, where they keep insisting that you just eat more meat and it's just normal, and oh my God, your body's using all the protein, and so that's why you're not crapping. It's such a joke. Like, how stupid. What a way to damage somebody. You're not pooping. You're chronically dehydrated. You're not getting out estrogen. You're not getting out waste products, and you're just staying toxified. Like, what? I'll pass. What about the theory that you lower your fat consumption if you want to lose weight? There's no theory. It's just a lie. Sunlight, getting in ketosis is how you burn fat. When your fats are too low, your body's glucose dependent. You can't get glucose very well from fat, but you can get glucose from protein like that. So if you eat low protein, that means you have low fat. That means you're low fat and low carb. And that will jack your thyroid up faster than you can say, Jack! Just do it long enough. Just wait. It'll happen. 90% of the women that I have consultations with are showing symptoms of thyroid problems. Help with thyroid. God's Gift 66. What I can say is, if you're having a problem, go book a consultation. You guys can see my real people, real talk now. So, I don't say I do consultations and have groups and all this kind of stuff. People are actually volunteering, and some of the people I'm asking, but a lot of people are like, the one I'm releasing for Monday, another great interview. The last one volunteered. And then this one was a guy. Oh God, I'm doing so many now, I don't remember. Yeah, this last one is a guy. That's right, he's German. And then I asked him, can I tell your story? Because he did veganism, then keto, then carnivore. He had successes and failures on all three, and started jacking his body up hardcore, including hypoglycemia. Up to my fats on carnivore. What does that up mean? Got the runs. That's your gallbladder. Unless you're having a histamine response to a certain type of fat, 9 times out of 10, it's your gallbladder, and 1 time out of 10, it's histamine. Leaky gut. How long can you expect it to take to get into ketosis? If you're doing everything like a champ, 3 months. Tre månader. Love your work. Månader. Love your work and authenticity. Authenticity. Damn it. I hate when I get stuck on words. Never mind. I'm not going to say it now because I'm getting brain locked. Talk about being authentic. I'm authentically botching things this live stream. I was able to slowly raise my fat intake and lower my protein over 6 months, gallbladder issues, and now I'm all of this sudden dropping weight so easily for the first time in my life after 48 years. So Andrea, does that mean dropping weight in a healthy way, or is that hyperthyroid dropping weight? There's a difference. Speaking about being authentic, authenticity, that's the word. Speaking about being authentic, somebody wrote a comment on my under my video. It was so stupid. She's like, how dare you ask for money for your horses, which are all rescues, okay, when you are living the cushy rich life, or something like rich life of being cushy. And I'm like, I'm living in an RV. That's not cushy, people. That's not cushy. In fact, over the winter in Texas, it was so hot that it wasn't staying cool. It was 87 and 90 degrees with that air conditioner running full blast. I thought I was going to die. That's not cushy. Being able to only fence 2 out of 10 acres is not living the cushy life and being exhausted because you're working your ass off doing things with your own hands, like restoring my own truck and hammering and building things myself. That's not cushy and rich. That's cut. I'm going to do a video. I'm going to get back to the questions and answers, but I'm going to do a video on how I was able to move to 10 acres with a very limited small amount of money. Like buying acreage without a house. Sacrifice. Right? I don't even have the money for the well. I'm saving money now. So then when I buy a well, people are like, oh my God, she's rich, she has a well. I'm like, no, I don't have it now. I have to use the neighbor's water. Ooh, living the cushy life of using water from the neighbor's well. That's not cushy. All right, let's get back to you guys. Thunder and Friends deserve the best life. Yeah, I mean, if you guys go back to my video catalog, I've never ever asked for money, but now I do for my fur babies. Period. I don't care. I'll do anything for them. Authenticity. I don't even know how to say that in French. Authenticite, because it's not it. What does floating poop mean? Sunlight floating poop means 2 things. Either it's gallbladder, which I think you have, right? So you're having fat into your toilet. You're not absorbing the fat, which is very bad. Or you have leaky gut, which still there's not enough, there's too much fat in your stool, and it floats, gets buoyant, goes ding, 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 ding. 200 grams of fat is only 1,800 calories. Should I still be able to lose weight? Oh my God, y'all. First of all, you're a guy, number one. Why would you want to eat less than 1,800 calories as a man? Here's where I sound like an asshole. Okay. All right, how do I explain this? Losing weight has nothing to do with calories. It has everything to do with your hormones. It's hormones that secrete, that balance how calories are going to be used. You have insulin. If you are insulin sensitive, that means that your body is not going to take the glucose or the amino acids and putting them into structure via your receptors to be used. What happens is things can be converted into fat as triglycerides within the fat cells. And so if your fat cells are lazy, if you're estrogen dominant, so your body starts to produce a lot of estrogen, and estrogen will signal the body to store more fat. If your thyroid is underactive and your T3 is too low, the thyroid here will say, turn off everything that requires energy. Pooping, hair growth, feeling warm to the extremities. This is an affectation of the body trying to conserve energy and just turning off knobs and buttons so you can survive. And a lot of women can go down to 500 calories and they just lose more muscle, because muscle can be converted into the start of the conversion to break down the muscles and make you into a saggy Shar-Pei animal skin is through gluconeogenesis, when you're secreting over the amount of cortisol that you would need for homeostasis. Oh, Teresa's like, you seriously inspired me to look for raw land. It's really fun because, as you guys can see, it is freaking beautiful outside. Out my window, there's my pony pen, and in the back, there's a hill and all this kind of stuff. It's such a pretty day. And in Cali, it was like a dust bowl, right? Because it doesn't rain enough. And I just got used to seeing horses on dirt. Like, they'll starve. They need to forage, but I digress. I believe that my audience will benefit a lot from your knowledge and honesty as far as health and well-being. I think so, because I don't lie to people. That's where I get in trouble, and I'm kind of sarcastic about it. So people get pissed that I I could be like, oh my God. Like I used before you guys, people used to call me the ditzy blonde. Because I'd be like, energy, 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 keto's amazing, energy, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, yo, I don't feel that way anymore. Let's take a deeper look. I still have energy. And I do have energy, energy, energy. But you guys got to do this the right way so you don't frack yourself up. Have you seen people have chronic nasal congestion as a history? Oh yeah, of course. Absolutely. Infections and congestion. Have I winterized my trailer? I don't really need to winterize it because I'm going to be getting a well. And so I will be hooked up to water that won't freeze. And to keep it from freezing in the pipes, you just let the water drip. And I'll insulate the line. Right. You don't have to worry. As long as you're having dripping water and you don't let it drip hot, you let it drip cold. And I did this last winter in Texas when we had like 12 freezing nights. Just drip, drip, drip. And since you are using well water, you can let it drip to you can have water just gush out and you don't spend any more money. Also my RV is under RV camper. So somebody said on the wind side, just to take some clear tarp and just line it so cold wind can't hit the RV camper. And I'm in South Tennessee, so it's kind of going to be like Texas. A little colder, maybe by 8 degrees. Most days don't freeze, and the freeze nights are probably going to be similar to Texas. So we just the piping is going to be, the plumbing is going to be underground. So there you go. And then we'll put a windshield on one wall. And love your interview with Sarah, Carnivore Yogi. Will you have her on again? So Sarah and I actually don't talk anymore. We were really close friends for about 2 years. And we would talk every day first on WhatsApp and then on Telegram. And I didn't talk about it first because people try to create controversy. And we interviewed each other. We were going to do a lot of projects with each other. But she started promoting fasting. And my audience was like, oh my God, Sarah's promoting fasting. She's promoting fasting. So the first couple of times I asked her, she's like, that's ridiculous. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing any of that. And she felt like insulted that I was asking her about it. But then people kept coming back to me and then and asking me, and I did a screenshot of somebody asking her on her page. And I was just like, so what's going on? And she never responded. And then I know then. And I know a lot. I know a lot that you guys don't know. I know the background. I know everything, pretty much. I know a lot. Not everything. I know a lot. And with that said, instead of making a big to-do about it, I just let her be. Let her do her lane. She's a good girl. Let her drive in her own lane, do things the way she wants, which is why I don't like to work with gurus really anymore. Kelly Hogan approached me. She was so sweet about it. I was like, like, and I'll probably change down the road. But right now, the way my emotions are with all that move from Texas and the world going dang crazy, I'm like, it's so much noise in my head that I just wanted to do real talk with real people right now. So Kelly interviewed me. I'm going to interview her, and I almost don't feel like doing it because I don't want to put her on blast. I really don't. I don't want to put her on blast. And how do you not? So I'm like, I'm stuck. I really, so Sarah and I are no longer interviewing each other, but I hope the best for her. She's done incredible and amazing, and she has great interviews, and I got nothing really ill against her because while we were friends, it was really awesome. People move apart. You went to high school, y'all change, you just move apart. And I know she doesn't want to be questioned on why she's saying do this when she would like eat lower fat and fast. She doesn't want me to question her on it. And I understand that. Regarding consultations, do you need to record diet, sleep, etc., blood work? You don't need blood work. Knowing your diet and sleep is quite easy. Just do like a 3-day journal before consultation, or just go into, and you can go cold turkey as well, because I just sit there. Y'all know that I sit and I take notes when I'm talking to people. I take notes because it helps. I ask, I pretty much when you watch the Real People Real Talk, it's similar to a consultation in the very beginning. I'm just like, tell me your story. Talk to me. What's going on? What led you to want to book a consultation? Tell me a background story. And they're like, well, how far do you want me to go back? I'm like, I don't care. You can go back to when you were in your mama's belly. Just tell me what's going on. And when you go to doctors, they don't do that. They take blood tests and medical tests and give you pharmaceuticals. So I was like, I'm just like, just talk to me. And then we start going to the deep dive. Then I start asking a lot of critical and important questions before I start to put together any strategy. I got to know everything. And people will skip details. I'm like, no. How much of that did you eat? When did you start eating that food? When did you first notice the sign of eczema? Like, yeah. Or thyroid or chronic fatigue or whatever. You have taught so much, but how do you deal with the flu? Eunice, don't get mad at me. I still stay on keto. I always poop out. The first thing that you do to not deal with the shite that everybody talks about is to turn off your television. And when you turn off your television and you stay healthy, all of that disappears. And the only thing that's left over is stupid gas prices in the world going upside down that you'll have to deal with. But if you're worried about your health and having anything, turn off your TV. And you're going to be okay. Turn off your TV and don't get swords stuck in you with juice that is not good. And be healthy and stop eating processed foods and stay consistent, and you don't need alcohol, and get off the caffeine, and don't eat your cheese, and stay away from the nuts, and get into the nature and enjoy life. And just like the Amish and homeless, you won't have anything except a free mind, because fear will enslave your mind. Do not be afraid of anything. I think that fear has fracked people up for the last 2 years. Do your own research, you guys. I cannot tell you more. I'm giving you logical explanations of when you eat too much protein, what could happen. And with that information, you've got to go and see if you are experiencing any of these symptoms. We know that you dump a lot of water because, well, just look at how much you pee when you cut out bread. If you go from a bunch of carbohydrates and then drop out those carbohydrates, watch how much more you be peeing. When you pee a lot, you have things in your urine. What's in your urine? At least what I'm saying is logical. You don't have to believe it. You don't even have to trust it. But it's something that will spark you to go and do more research. That's all I'm doing. That's it. You know, when I have clients sitting there and I'm having these people tell you, I did the fasting, I did the carnivore, the last one was like, I had diarrhea for 6 months, it never went away. We call that a clue, and we don't need Inspector Clouseau for that. If you're having constant and chronic diarrhea on carnivore, be careful. Why would anybody do carnivore and then fruit? Fruit has been genetically modified, hybridized, selectively bred, and sprayed. And well, hell, in spring there ain't gonna be no fruit anyway, because, well, things gone done upside down in this world. Unless you have your own fruit trees. I thought carnivore was going to help me with heal a bad infection. Nope, it got worse on carnivore. You make so much sense. Thank you, Sherry. I gotta hit Sherry up and ask her, do you want to tell a story, Sherry? Do you want to do a real talk? Because you got some stuff to say. Sherry, Oh, chérie, amour. Advice teen eating standard American diet with acne. Get off that. Oh gosh, that's so hard. I mean, just get off the food. I got so many videos on how to do carnivore and how to up your fat and rotate food. I'm always talking about rotate your food and do an elimination. Find out what foods are activating those glands. And okay, good, Sherry. Let's hook it up. Hit me up on Instagram to remind me. Octavia says, Stephanie, I'd like to schedule a consultation, but I'm not very fluent in English. Oh, don't even worry, Octavia. You know, I used to live in Sweden, and there was a few older people that didn't know any English. Så det var jävla svårt för jag lärde hur man måste prata svenska med någon som kan inte prata engelska, which means I had to learn how to speak a very basic Swedish. Don't worry. You don't have to know perfect English ever to talk to me. I will work with you. And if you're Italian or Spanish, I will dig into my Italiano or my Spanish, which you're probably Spanish, and speak with you. Y español. As soon as you are finished, I'll send you a message. Thank you, Sherry. So with my jacked up hormones, how will my body tolerate all that 2,250 calories? I just told you, Sunlight, it's not about calories, honey. It's about how your hormones deal with calories. You can eat a grape and get fat if your thyroid hormone is low. You have to balance your adrenal health. You have to balance your blood sugar by eating something small every 3 hours. You have to get sleep. There's so many parts. Calories have nothing to do with anything because you can eat almost 0 calories and still remain fat. Your body can go into gluconeogenesis, cortisol, insulin, estrogen, all of these hormones, leptin, can make you fat on eating almost nothing. I know this because there was a woman in my gym who was anorexic, and she always wore a sports bra. And I was like, oh my God, she's the best anatomical visual that somebody could look at on gluconeogenesis. She had a fat roll around her waist. It just looked like this squishy muffin on the skinniest concentration camp, skinny, twiggy arms I've ever seen. And her neck was about that big, and she was like sunken in her jaws. But she had a muffin top on the banana roll right the roll that goes right under your butt cheek. Facts. Legit facts. So you guys, don't forget to like up the stream. We got 71 people and 111 in the live. Become your own doctor. Yeah, this is Influence Positive, who says, become your own doctor. Let me see here. Become your own doctor. Listen to your temple. Respect your own opinion. Use discernment. Stop making excuses. Seek advice from real, sincere beings, which is kind of getting hard these days. But there are some people, beings you connect with, and make your own kitchen your pharmacy. That couldn't be said better. So thank you so much for that comment, because people really do rely on other people's words. Well, my neighbor and my cousin, and they lost 30 pounds on whatever diet, and I'm like, it doesn't matter what somebody else does. It only matters what's going on with your individual health. And 9 times out of 10, people aren't telling you the whole truth. They'll tell you little, like, boo-boo peanut nugget size amounts of truth. I know that because I've done that. Let's see here. I think it is almost time to go. 5'9", 133 pounds, 60 years old, active all day, and find it hard to eat more than 1,800 calories a day. If you are 5'9", and you're eating under 1,800 calories, what is your body fat percentage? I want to show you guys. It's on my phone. I'm talking on my phone, but I found a picture of me when I did a skateboard exhibition, and my arm was like this size. Be careful. Before I did keto and ate a lot of fat, my body was just eating itself. And that was around 1,800 calories a day. Be very careful. 5'9", eating 1,800 calories is super scary. I thought Carnivore was going to help me heal a bad infection. Oh, I read that already. 53-year-old male on Armor. Any hope of getting off? Yes! 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 Getting off Armor, here's the problem. Right? Because I did this. First of all, Katie, I did an interview with Katie. She's on Armor. Armor is great for those who find some kind of balance in it. Most people don't. They have to keep upping and lowering their whole life the dosages of the pig Armor thyroid. And yes, undereating is a real thing. Yeah. And doctors will just make it sound like you have Hashimoto's, your thyroid's under attack, you slide between hyper and hypo, like you have to go on this, but people won't get enough iodine-rich foods. They don't get their stress down. Their blood sugar is destabilized. Like they have too much cortisol cranking out all day long. Can I book a consultation with you using a phone? Yeah, yes, you should be able to. If my phone can't do a face-to-face, I lost muscle and a lot of weight. What do you mean your phone can't do it face-to-face? If you have a smartphone, you should be able to. Otherwise, I do phone conversation. Let's see here. That's interesting. That 5'9", 133 pounds. Not 5'9". That sounds like the right. No, yeah, it's 5'9". You should be more like 138 pounds. But you're 133 pounds. Like, what's your body fat percentage? I'm still curious about that one. We're only eating 1,800 calories a day. Teresa says Stephanie's consult is a game changer. She really helps you start on the right path. Thank you, Teresa. I'm hypothyroid. How do I know if I'm losing weight because of ketosis versus hypothyroid? Hyperthyroid. You don't focus on weight. You literally have to focus on all the other symptoms of adapting, like using a glucometer, knowing if you're sleeping, if you're dreaming, if you're pooping, if you are not crashing, if you have strength through workouts, if you can get some breathing techniques in, some diaphragmatic breathing, because a lot of people, you got to look at all the other symptoms. And if all the other symptoms align, then if you start losing weight and you're not losing a bunch of muscle weight, then perhaps you're in ketosis, especially with the numbers. Even though you can't define if you use the glucometer as a rough tool to understand if you're making ketones, is more what I meant. I can book a consultation with you using, I already read that, but my phone can't do face-to-face. You mean it doesn't have a camera? I still don't understand that. But we can talk on the phone. Yes. Thunder eating is real. Yeah, okay. I think I got all your guys' comments and questions. Um, I think if you guys don't have any more questions, by the way, to book a consultation, you go to stephanieperson.com. You can also join my course page through stephanieperson.com. I'm going to put it. I still have meal plans. They're sort of outdated, but they're still really good guides if you need some type of guide right now. I'm rewriting all of my meal plans, plus a couple more documents that you guys can just get basic information from, like what do you do if you have hypoglycemia. um, I'm seriously counting the minutes to my consultation. Libby's, that's cool. We're gonna have fun. How do you take payment? I take payment through I'm watching the temperature rise up in this RV camper. I take payment through the site. The vendor that I use is PayPal. So people ask if they can Venmo me, but the way the website works is you book a date, you use a credit card, you find what date you want, you click on it, you pay for it, and then the system will send you all the information, like the confirmations, the payment confirmations. It sends you it sends you notifications when the consultation is starting and ending, a form that you fill out, all that kind of stuff. Thank you so much, Stephanie, booking my consultation too. Aw, Sherry, thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, for those who do lives with me, like I give them mini consultations, so we could use a follow-up consultation. If you book a consultation, then I'll follow up with you for free if you allow me to interview you. So happy that you're not down with fasting. Thank you. Yeah, fasting is just, people don't understand the science of fasting. You know, it's kind of like people talking about the sword that everybody was taking, and like they're like, yeah, but it's safe and it's great and it does this and it's amazing, and I'm like a superhero now, and nothing can hurt me, and it's all lies and trickery and mirrors and all this kind of stuff. And it's the same thing with fasting. People say like fasting's amazing because they hear the word autophagy, and I'm like, you can't measure it. So people are guessing. It's just like a theory. If you cannot measure autophagy, why the hell are people developing crepey skin, dark circles under the eyes, a loss of muscle, thyroid issues, hair falling out on fasting? They're not losing fat weight. They're losing muscle weight, and then they might lose a little fat, and then they might gain a little fat in the weird spots. Problems, Andrea asks, is there any problems with eating bone marrow? Here's the problem with bone broth. Animals, it's very interesting. I lived on 2 cattle ranches. Cows freaking eat everything. They don't just eat grass. I don't know, people are tripping. This is another thing I've learned about the whole grass-fed argument. It's like, horses eat grass too, but in the winter, they're grain fed. I have to plant a certain type of grass that is going to be less nutrient dense, but that will give them some nutrition and fiber over the winter. But I have to feed them grain. I could feed them just straight hay, which is what Thunder ate. Thunder was so healthy in California, but it doesn't have enough manganese, and it doesn't have enough protein to calcium ratios. There's too much protein, which creates a calcium problem, and too much alfalfa. And things like Bermuda and coastal, these grass hays, they're not nutrient dense enough. They're not healthy enough on these grasses. So you have to feed them grain. And I've learned that. And pigs are not the only animals that have parasites. They all have them. I've got video of Thunder scratching his booty against the pole, and I was like, up, dewormer time. My horse's booty is itching. So people just don't understand any animal that's outside is going to get parasites. So stop being afraid of pigs. It's insane. It's like only if you're eating a pig that I had in a pen and them just throwing their food on the ground and they're eating their crap with, they're just getting, because, you know, worms, flies leave larvae in the poop and then they're getting extra parasites, parasitical infestation in them. But if they're pastured and they're eating, you know, roots and bugs and fruit and meat, because pigs eat meat, they're awesome. They're a great source of fat, monounsaturated, great for the brain, for people who've got brain injuries. What is my big horse doing in there? Look at my big boy. That's the pony. Oops, where is he? That's the pony corral. He's too big for that. Oh, he knows. Oh, I whistled at him. That's my boo-boo. People are like, what'd you do for your birthday? I'm like, I just want to hang out with my horse. But the only people I know in this town is the man who sold me the house. He's on my Instagram. You guys want to go to my Instagram, it's Stephanie Ketogenic, where he was describing every tree. He's in his 70s. His dad owned this property before. So he was explaining all the different tree species on the land and telling me the difference between a red oak and a white oak tree and how some of them are white oak. Some of my trees are worth like $15,000 a tree because they'll cut it, and then the lumber mill will, the loggers will come and will cut down your tree. So when people are like, how do you afford all of that? You must be rich. And I'm like, no, I don't have a house. The only way I can start a house build and get out of an RV camper is to sell some of my trees. That's how I'm going to do it. Right? They're from a 10 grand to 15 grand a tree. And I'm only going to cut 3 because I'm too afraid to deforest my forested property. That's how people have rolling green hills in Tennessee, is they cut all the trees down. And I don't want to do that. But some of it, like the front part is all pastured. The back part, a lot of it's been de-treed. But the hill where I'm going to build a house, I have to cut down a bunch of trees to build a house in the middle of my forest. Some of them are big oak trees. With those oak trees, I can start the house build. And that is how you build a house when you don't have the money. And that is how you can go and e-beg for money for your horses when I'm not living a cushy, comfortable life at all. I can't believe somebody said that. I'm going to, on Tuesday, and a lot of people are like, you don't have to explain yourself, but I think this will be a great video series to teach people how to move on the cheap and make smart decisions. Like, a lot of people think that traveling is so expensive. I've always traveled super cheap. People are like, oh, you need thousands of dollars. I'm like, I've gone to places with $200 in my pocket for like 2 weeks and survived. Yes, I have. But yes, I'm going on Tuesday to get at a metal scrap place 100-gallon propane tanks because they are $200 each, and I need 4 of them. So they're $25 a piece when they're at a junkyard. So I'm getting 100-gallon propane tanks because electricity is going up. So it's going to be cold, and I want to turn on my heat all day long. Then I can get a bunch of huge propane tanks. And in this town, you guys, propane is $1. Sorry. Propane here is only $1 a gallon. And that is how I will keep my electric bill very low, not use space heaters. And I'm going to get a propane space heater and save money. So I want to teach you guys how you guys can eat, cook, meal prep, exercise, you know, live your best life, balance your hormones for people who are menopausal, fix your gut, you know, skateboard, ride horses, travel, build things. I rebuilt my truck, not the engine, just the exterior and the interior. Restored it. I have all the videos from it. I'm going to put a video together of the restoration of my truck. And we're going to build a small barn, and the Amish cut wood. So I'm going to get some cheap wood. I'm going to treat it myself. And I'm doing a metal building as a barn dominium as a home. That's how you save money. They make all kinds of propane appliances too. I mean, I don't need it because I have gas, so that's propane. And then I'll just get a propane heater, and then that's it. Skateboard tutorials. Okay, I'll do that too. You guys know I used to be a pro skateboarder. They make, okay, I already read that. People, grass fed. This is perfect example of the reality check that you are great at giving people. Don't question the source from supplements, farming practices, and eating practices. Yeah. Well, grass fed is grass fed. This is perfect example of reality check that you are great at giving people that don't question the source. Well, first of all, I want people to understand that it's better to go find local farms. Now, I found a farm that has hog, it has chicken, and it has beef. But because I'm so into the deer meat right now, so I'm doing tallow with deer meat, and I'm like, give me all the organs. Give me the heart, give me the liver, give me, well, not the thymus because it's probably going to be about that big. Um, and I got a freezer. I'm going to fill it up. But I wanted people to realize that in winter months, how can a cow be 100% grass fed? They can't. They can't. They have to eat and like the grass is not nutrient dense. Sometimes they have to feed them a little grain to give them some minerals, even to get their vitamins and minerals in their feed. And so sometimes I give my horse rice bran when he lost a bunch of weight when he got sick to fatten him up, get his weight back, to get his strength back. So I'm just learning a lot about how I'm not so afraid that cows are not corn, that they are grain. There's a difference between grain. There's all different types of grain. Grain fed and grass fed during winter times. Sherry's like, I'm hitting it first because I'm a really good skateboard teacher. In fact, when I lived in Texas in the small town, they found out that I used to be a pro skater. You guys, I'll do an official video of this, but I was inducted into the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C., and so I will be immortalized forever as a history maker and being one of the first female skateboarders, especially one of the first black chicks. But yeah, they asked me to give skate lessons, so I had to bring out my skateboard, and I did a lot of skateboard camps where I teach skateboarding. So it was really fun. It was really fun. If I ever get out to Cali, Sherry, we got to hang out. I got to make it back to Cali, but we got to see what's going to happen in crazy. What's the thing is, I need to make sure I have a solid babysitter, and I want to open my land and get a system before I start taking any trips away from the animals. So far, I've just like taken day visits to see my mom. And then I'm like rushing back. Thunder was so mad at me when I went to go see my mom the last time. He was so mad. It was like he wouldn't let me pet him. I was like, dude, I'm not leaving you again. I know we've moved 6 times, but we're not moving again. Should I eat cold butter rather than melted butter? It doesn't matter. Literally, your stomach will melt it. Stephanie is a badass. Her skate skills are a bomb as AF. Well, I was one of the first girls, I think the very first girl ever to learn a backside disaster on vert. Backside disaster on vert. As far as I know, I'm the first, and that's a really hard trick. You're in Temecula. Where's Temecula again? Temecula, is that outside? Is it east of LA? Southeast Temecula? Sometimes I like to go back to Cali just so I could say hello to some friends and then get out. I'll definitely come visit when it's like super cold here. I'll take a break. Should I eat cold butter? I already read that. Dear Steph, how do I get rid of cellulite all over my body? Can I do it with keto? It doesn't work. Can I do it with keto? There's a couple things. Like number one, you have to break up the fascia. It's fibrous tissue and muscle, and it gets really, really stiff, and then the fat will poke through it because it's not malleable and soft, right? So sometimes you got to massage and just sort of break up that fascia. we all have fat, right? And all women have cellulite. I don't have a lot of cellulite, but I do have a little bit of cellulite. But for me to get rid of my cellulite, I will either massage it or I'll foam roll out. I even bought the Ashley Black thing, but it's so hard on it breaks blood vessels. It's much easier just to massage and break that fascia. The other thing is estrogen dominance. If you guys are carrying your body fat percentages pretty high, and you're older like I am, your skin gets thinner, you're going to have cellulite. So it's about getting the estrogen dominance. That's a very short answer because I could go on and on and on about it. Country towards San Diego. Okay. I wouldn't mind actually going towards San Diego. Inland, right? I'm sick of LA. I'm over it. I'd like to go towards San Diego. It's really beautiful down there. What do you think about beetroot come from some friends' gardens? And I guess it'd be okay. Just don't eat a lot because the anti-nutrients. Fascia blaster. Yeah, it hurts. Hello from Florida. Queen of Fat. Thank you, Mike. This is how I feel about chickens when they say vegetarian. I have had chickens. They eat bugs, lizards, baby rats. They can never be full vegetarian. Makes me laugh. Yeah. The world is so freaking bizarre. Sometimes I really enjoy just hanging out with my horses and just being done with people. And I know it's a bad attitude to have, but sometimes you need inspiration. Like somebody like Sherry, she was so inspiring because she started hitting me up on my Instagram, and she's very much like me, where she's still really, really young, but she's in her late 40s. But it's hard to find people like that, where we're like, look, we grew up in the same era, right? So we can talk about what it was like before the internet, because we were full-grown adults, right? At least I was. Yeah, you were in your early 20s, I think, Sherry. But to grow up without computers and technology, it's pretty freaking cool. I kind of miss those days. We used to have so much fun as kids. Oh my God, it was awesome. Not at all like LA. There's horse land over here. That's what I heard. Yeah, I gotta come out and visit Sherry. Do you know does glasses with blue blockers actually work? Yes. Blue light blocking glasses are yellow or orange tinted glasses. You put them on about 30 to 45 minutes after the sun goes down, and then you take them off before you go to bed, and they are fantastic at helping your body produce melatonin. All right, guys, thank you so much. It is getting late. It is 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and this is exactly how I destroy a beautiful sunny day outside, is to be sitting inside. I am going to go ride my horse, and then I'm going to go walk the fur babies in the back, and then I'm going to hit the gym. The day's already going to be gone. Flock! But I got to talk to you guys, so. I am trying to increase my channel. I want to expand my channel. I'm going to put it into Steph's stories. People don't know that I was this really massive pro skater and a lot of things happened. I want to talk about color of skin and how it's been just completely made into a complete cartoon land joke. And I want to talk about how the brown people in that group where they say they matter is so lame. And I want to talk about getting older and how to stay younger. I want to talk about moving and how I was able to go and buy property and do all this stuff and have cars. Like somebody's like, oh, you've got trucks and cars. I'm like, they're paid off because they're used. And then I work on them myself. I change the oil filter and the oil pump. Me. Okay. I had the mechanic on the other line of the phone. He's like, okay, do this. Okay, you're going to use 2 crescents, okay? Don't be scared. I was like, I'm going to break my truck. You're not going to break the truck. You can do it. Yeah, I just want to inspire people. I'm going to renovate the interior of the RV. I just have had no time to do it, so I'm going to renovate it soon. We're going to do DIY. You guys are going to see the build of my house once I start in the new year, and how I'm going to fill my freezer with meat. Now, one thing you won't see right now is me hunting, unless I'm starving. I've been California brainwashed to ties, so there will be no videos of me hunting. Darn it! How do I get this out of my head? Every time the deer in the back. So the neighbor's son's like, can I still hunt in the back? Because I have deer. in the back, my property. And I said, he's like, are you gonna get triggered if I shoot a deer? And I said, just share the meat with me. That's what I literally said. I'm like, you're gonna be like hunting on my backyard without sharing the meat. There you go. Should I discontinue HCl use? I've upped my fat to 200 grams. So HCl is not just for gallbladder issues. It's also for hypochlorhydria, and people have got leaky gut. But if you feel that you're doing fine, take it out. You don't want to be on supplements forever. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining this live. Thank you for everybody who liked up the stream. If you guys want to donate and help me, I'm still trying to get the shelter and the fencing on the rest of the property. If I paid somebody, it'd be 50 grand. I don't have 50 grand. But if I do it myself, I'm going to do a day retreat or 2-day retreat. If I can get at least 10 people to come and help me. Because everyone around here is like, you don't need to have a company to build a fence. Just do it yourself. But I need help. So if I got 10 people, I can get this knocked out in 10 days, the rest of the property. And I can finally open up the land so the horses can leave me alone, because they bug me every second, banging on my door. Because I'm in their pastured acres, 2 acres out of the 10. All right, everyone, thank you for joining this live stream. If you want to learn more, go to stephanieperson.com. I'm going to have more interviews. I'm going to drop one on Monday. And now I've got Sherry to interview if anybody else wants to tell their story. And these real talk, real stories will go on to everything. What it's like to a woman to go through menopause or be in the age of menopausal, how we feel about attractiveness. I'm going to hit every subject. And, it's my real people with real stories, real talk. And, but from real people who don't have social media accounts to promote, whatever health product they're selling. And definitely will book a consultation with you. Thanks. Thank you so much. Farfilos? Loose? Yeah, if you guys want to book a consultation, go to stephanieperson.com. You can also go to Stephanie Ketogenic on my Instagram just to see advice on my stories or on my page or anything inspirational. I also do this on my Facebook, which is Stephanie the Business Person. And I got a course page. There's a fly in here. Oh, these flies. And I'm out. Thanks for the live. It's been sweet. Thank you so much. And I need to go ride my horse right now. It's getting so late. Oh. And what happens if I don't ride him now? I don't feel like doing it. The Greek guy is amazing. We're still friends. But the Greek guy is a full-on Smurf. Okay? He believes in the idealisms of the old Russia. And starts with a C. He believes that. He believes that we should have no rights. And he does not believe in any type of free business. He believes that we should get stuff from the GOV. And I didn't know this until shit hit the fan. He also is a big proponent of getting swords stuck in you 50,000 times and getting the juice. All of this stuff. And we went through this with a lot of friends. And I was shook. I was like, are you serious? Like, dude, come on, bro. They're from Greece. Like, wake up, bro. But that's why. But we're still friends. But what we're going to talk about? Like, I moved to Texas. I went to a place where there's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm in Tennessee now. So for a lot of these people, them white people back in California, they're like, oh my God, you're in a, blood red area. I have to say blood to break it up. You're in a blood red area, and like those people are awful and they're super Christian and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, this town that I'm in right now, I have never met such nice people in my freaking life. Every time I think somebody's going to be rude to me because I have brown skin, they're like, hi. And I was like, hi, how are you today? How are you today? How you doing today, darling? I'm like, good, thank you. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Wow, poor Greek guy. He's deceived. Yeah, for him to wake up. He's not going to. He's too old for that. I still love him to death. He's still a sweetheart. And I still call him from time to time. He never calls me no more, so trust. He's not calling me anymore ever. I have to go and call his ass. But when we talk, we do laugh. We do like avoid political subjects because if we talk about it, we don't get along on the subject. And I could bulldoze him down, but he gets super triggered, like super, super beta triggered. Um, so I don't want to trigger him. Is taking sea kelp supplements a bad idea? No, it's a good idea. There you go. Seafood for iodine and kelp supplements are great. Energy, energy, energy. Energy sort of because stayed up too late because it was my a baby day. I stayed up really late. And I was talking to a lot of my friends called me. It was crazy. I'm like, I get off, gotta go to bed. It's like 2 a.m. So my friend went to really good friend of mine from California went to Belgium and to Paris and was talking about that ordeal with the stop in Canada. He was like, it was. So we were talking about that. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining this live stream. And I'm out. I need to shut up. I talk way too much. Peace. Energy, energy, energy. Sort of. And now 55. 15 years and counting. And I wouldn't change my life at all. It's amazing. Bye, guys. Thank you, Ello. Thank you, thank you.